Hi guys, this is Hannah. Welcome to my channel. And in this video, I'm going to present one of my favorite work. And I actually have been interviewing recently, and I am using this opportunity to practice my presentation skill. And this is a web redesign work called Microns and Colitics in Web Redesign. And before I jump into the design process, I will be giving you a little bit of my background. So actually, the story background is more than 5 million people worldwide suffer from inflammatory bowel disease, which I will be referring to IBD in the presentation. As well as the very few platforms for IBD people to seek help and connect to each other, this platform brings support and practical tips for people with IBD. So this is a solo 4-week project I have done in Harvard Extension School with a client called My Health Team. And I was doing the user interview, site structure, accessibility part, and the design part. So the problem is kind of straightforward. So basically the lack of accessibility and kind of like the confusing navigation structure in the current website have made our current and potential user of Microns and Colitics too uneasy to find information they need. So as one of the only social network for people with IBD, this website kind of needs a redesign to improve the usability and consistency in order to better serve the community and better provide support to the user. So as you can see, this is some of the screenshot of the old website. So before I jumped into the redesign, I actually submitted a really big and in-detail proposal to identify the accessibility issue and the design problem I found on the old website. So basically the color palette are not passing the WCAG guide and is not ADA compliant. And the heading and text are inaccessible and not intuitive to recognize because some of the first level and second level heading are very similar, as well as the confusing, repetitive navigation. Too many wayfindings have making the user uneasy to use this website. So finally, some of the missing feature I also identified in the report. Basically, the sorting posts and sorting resources function are missing, such as, and also the searching articles are missing. Like there is a lot of missing feature makes this site like basically unusable in some of the circumstances. So in this section, I will be taking a deep dive into the understanding the target user in this platform by conducting user interview to deep dive into their goals and needs, and setting a better understanding of the main feature, general workflow, and the sitemap of this application. So basically, I conducted 6 interviews of the patient I recruited on Instagram. And there is an Instagram account called IBD Questions where people can ask questions related to their illness. And the Instagram owner have posted those pictures to other people can answer them in Instagram. It is kind of similar to the web platform I am redesigning, but it's like less feature and less social insight. So out of the 6 users I selected, 2 of them are the current user, and 4 of them have never used this website before, but they showed an interest to the web platform. So how I validate my participant is I actually equally divided my research user group into 2 kinds of people. So basically with a different length of their illness history. So because I wanted to learn about the different behavior and needs for new patients and experienced patients, as well as like just learning more about their expectation and their general outlook on a platform like this. So this is a semi-structured interview, and I actually had like 5 questions prepared, but the user gave me a lot of more information than I expected. So I was able to construct those like in detailed personas for my user group. And I was asking a lot of the questions related to the physical and the emotional needs as IBD patients. And I was asking them outlook on a platform like this, as well as asking them to prioritize the main feature based on the importance level. So I finally structured 2 personas as shown in the picture, the help seeker and help provider. Please note the help provider sometimes could also be a help seeker when he needed. So from what I understand from my interview, so new patients are more likely to seek more emotional help and venting in the platform like this. And experienced patients love guiding new patients, and they want to have more connections. They want to share a more positive vibe in the community. So this is like the differences between them is not too much to do with their age and gender, but more important to do with the length of the illness. Basically, like not about their age, more about their illness age. So for the feature prioritization on this platform, the new patients are more likely to prioritize the Q&A as a very high level function because they wanted to ask a lot of questions and they wanted to vent to people. But they might be a little bit shy in connecting to other people, and it's kind of hard to accept they got the troublesome illness. But for experienced patients, they are more acceptable just to the condition as it is, and they're interested to connect to other people similar to them, and they wanted to answer questions. They wanted to share like positive vibe and creating a community. So in the part 2, after emphasizing with the current user, I construct the main feature into a sitemap. And there are actually other features in this web platform, but I wanted to make sure I am only focusing on addressing users' need in a limited design time. So the main features are sharing posts, connecting to people, and reading resources. And as you can see in my user's mind, those features are always the most important, no matter they are new or like experienced patients. Finally, I decided to make them in a top navigation bar across the globally site. So the previous website, they have like no proper navigation, and the old navigation is a very small sidebar, including a lot of hierarchy of information inside. So I wanted to structure the main feature into a very clear and easy to use top navigation bar across the website. So the part 3, the following section, I'm going to explain a little bit more about my wireframing and prototyping for the user's experience. So this section will show my process iterating from low fidelity to high fidelity and show like how I eventually prototyped in Framer with component library. So as always, I started with the drawing on a paper sketch. So basically I had around 5 pages of drawing. Then I started to create a low fidelity in my computer. So since Framer is kind of not a tool for the low fidelity prototype, I kind of jumped back into Figma, which is the tool I use on a day-to-day basis to make some of the variation in structuring my page with the component. So I was just playing with the boxes, as you can see in the layout. I was trying to create variation on the layout design to try to create some of the different options of the web design. So finally, I switched back into Framer to create a reusable component library to make sure my design elements are consistent with each other. Also, this is not a big website design. Documenting all of those components is always one of the main features in my design process because it's just always important in any kinds of design work I do. And what I really enjoy about Framer is can actually help me create interactive prototype with those components, and the variation of components are really easy to use in Framer. So here is a finished main page design. Because this is just a presentation and it's just a picture, static picture, I cannot see the interactive prototype here, but in this page, it's including more like a post section with a secondary navigation bar right here. And it also includes interest to my profile and my connections. So if we click on the connection button in the main navigation, it will take us to the connection page. So in this page is where you can see like a lot of different users, and for the user, they can sort and filter, search other users based on the criteria they selected. And this is kind of similar to our LinkedIn connection. So you can see a lot of LinkedIn different people, strangers, or like similar people near you, and you can connect to them. And let's click on the resource page on the top navigation bar. And in the resource page, you will be able to see there would be a feature resource. This is the most important resource, or like a promoted resource. And there would be also a secondary navigation for user to sort and filter their featured posts and basically the news. And let's just click on, this is the my profile page, and this is the one of the main page, because this is the most complex page out of all the page I designed. So in this page, the entrance is kind of a lot. You can enter the setting function, and you can manage my profile. You can see other people's posts on my profile. So it's kind of similar to my LinkedIn. You can see like what people are reaching to your post and what you have been posting, and you can manage your profile. So when you click on my team and providers, it will take you to my connection page. So this page is a little bit different than the connection page. Connection page shows people you have not been connected, but in this page, basically it's showing off your friends and the current team you are on. And you can also enter this from the home page. So this is a little bit of the wiring I did back in the Framer, and I actually used the interactive prototype for a quick usability run through with 4 of the users I recruited earlier. So I conducted a round of a usability test with mainly cognitive walkthrough questions in actually both our old and new website. With 4 of the users I recruited earlier, as I mentioned, like 4 of them have never used the site before. So I asked a lot of questions, like cognitive tasks. Basically, like the form above shows some of the questions and tasks I asked. So surprisingly, I did not receive a lot of constructive feedback or like comments on changes I need to make with the existing demo I showed. After the testing, I finalized the prototype by reviewing all the design to make sure every elements are consistent. And I was finalizing the filter and sort function once more, and the find connection function to make everything more intuitive and more consistent for other people to use. Then I hand it over to the client for my final presentation. In this table, we can clearly to see like there like much more users are able to use this specific function and use this search and navigation with the improved prototype I did. And they are more satisfied with the overall experience in general. So this is all I did in the 4 week for the client. And if I have more time for the design, I would love to conduct more usability tests to give me a little bit more overview and a deep dive into the real user experience. And I wish I could iterate more based on the feedback in the usability testing. And hopefully I can change them in content-wise and design-wise to make the site more intuitively and accessible to use. Finally, I hope to collaborate with the web developer to implement this website, because making sure the development process works well also is one of the main things I need to work on as a designer. So in terms of the learning from this project, this is the first time I did it so fast, like an end-to-end redesign process within 4 weeks. And I have to consider the user goal and the client's goal, matching clients' needs in a short time. And I had a lot of learning in this process, mainly on the design process part. And this is one of my favorite projects. Thank you for listening to my presentation. I'm always open to grow and learn. If you have any question or comments, just please drop me a line or just leave a comment below. Thank you. Hope we all find a good job. Bye.